I didn't go to college thinking I wanted to become a neurosurgeon. There was nobody in my family who are physicians. So I had 2 weeks experience as a junior medical student. And I thought the operations were fascinating. The neurosurgeon I was working with one day did an operation on a young woman about, I guess she was probably 16 or 17. Took a tumor off of her spinal cord, and she had been becoming fairly rapidly paralyzed. About 3 hours after surgery, we went to see her, and her family was there. And he's asked her to move her legs, and she could not move them before surgery. So now she moves her legs. And he says to her parents, okay, I think she'll walk. I mean, it was unbelievable that you could have that kind of impact on somebody's life. So that probably was the moment where I said, this is what I want to do.
He was a freshman in college and passed out in class, and no one knew why, and no one knew what happened. And here was this young, vulnerable child. I mean, he was 18, and everyone in the unit just gave him the best care possible, and we kept thinking, we don't know if he's gonna be alive. Every hour, it was like, we don't know if we can get him to where he needs to go. And every hour, he got a little bit better, and a little bit better, and it was a very long haul. His family was the most amazing family. They were so involved in his care, and they took the time to really get to know the nurses, and so it created this relationship, this bond that was just incredible. And he had a lot of really challenging outcomes from this cardiac arrest. And this was 2 years ago, he still comes back to visit us, and he just came back a couple weeks ago, and it was the first time we saw him walking. And his speech was perfect. He was able to hold these great conversations. And every time he comes, we all cry, because it's the work that we do. And it's the reason that we work, and it's really exciting.
My wife has been an inpatient within Penn Medicine over the years, going back to 1990. She's fine now, she's perfectly healthy, but from the very beginning, I was always so impressed in terms of her treatment and the combination consistently of humanity and science blended together within Penn Medicine. And I used to say to my wife when we came to her appointments that when I retire, I want to work in this place and they can have me for nothing. And that's exactly what I'm doing.
The highlight of my day is when I receive a letter from a patient or a patient's family. And I received a letter like that today from a patient that one of my physicians has been taking care of. And she talked about how Dr. Bashara, after 2 very long surgeries that day, went out to the waiting room and spent time with her family and called her husband, who was at home taking care of the children. He went the extra step to make sure that the family knew that their daughter and their wife was safe and that the surgery had gone well. And to me, it's so wonderful when patients can not only come here for the talented physicians, but that they also realize they're getting the highest quality of care. And it's that compassionate care that our staff provides that really makes a difference for this patient and for her family. And that's what Penn Medicine is all about.
My father was a Penn employee for 23 years, and he was a plumber. He took extreme pride in his work and working for Penn. My dad suddenly passed away while at work, September of 2004. As a nurse, I just felt like I would always have that opportunity to take care of my parents whenever that day would come, because I had the skill set to do so. And just like that, it was gone. And so for me, hospice became a healing journey for myself. It kind of, while I was given to others, they were given to me without even knowing it, and it really helped my heart to heal from that loss, because in essence for me, it was everything that I didn't get to do for my dad. And so I love it. I love what I do.
There are a lot of people who feel that oncology is a depressing field because you're dealing with people who have life-threatening and potentially deadly illnesses. The thing about oncology is that it's exactly the opposite. It's incredibly life-affirming because people are facing a diagnosis that makes them reassess their lives and focus on the things that are important. And to be able to participate in that as a caregiver, it's a real privilege. And frankly, it's a gift that our patients give us every day.
A place like Penn Medicine depends on innovation. We're constantly at the forefront of what's new in medicine, whether it's new therapies, new medications, new ways of doing surgery, new ways of treating people.
Improving patient safety is arguably our most important obligation, and Penn has done an excellent job of advancing patient safety through unit-based leadership, where people who are on the ground interacting with the patients day in and day out identify what some of the risk elements are and what the solutions are.
We've really focused on the whole culture of how we work with patients.
In the last year, we've saved nearly an additional 1,000 lives through our patient safety efforts.
And that culture just pervades all the hallways here. The doctors feel it, the nurses feel it, the radiotherapy techs feel it, the people who are pushing the gurneys feel it. They know they're part of a winning team that's committed to great patient care.